What's good, everybody? It's Kenneth Bear here. Another episode of Touchdowns and Tangents. Cool, man. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Honestly, just getting here was ridiculous. 710 is trash. But most importantly, man, we're gonna have some guests on tonight. Sooner rather than later, actually. There's been a lot of recaps. Pete went out to cover the NFL PA Bowl last week. We got some people calling in from Full Press coverage. But most importantly, man, I'm going to get to it later, but that J. Cole track, Middle Child, like, y'all have no idea how close I was to just opening the show with that. It holds a special place in my heart as a middle child. So yeah, I was feeling pretty petty when it came out. I was like, yeah, I'm slandering my siblings with this song repeatedly. But most importantly, man, want to shout out all our affiliates. Obviously, starting with the Good News Radio. I mean, come on. I kind of, like, that's just, it goes without saying, you know, Good News Sports. Excuse me. Also, you know, shout out to Courtside. They just did the thing. Honestly, when it comes to basketball, those are really the only people I actually want to hear their opinions. So, shout out to all of them, man. They're doing their thing. But, most importantly, because the pettiness that has gone on in the Full Press coverage group chat, it's been legendary this week. I just want to personally say, shout out to Terry, Obee. I'm terrible, man. Wow, I'm totally spacing out on everyone's name in that group chat, even though I know everyone's name in that group chat. I also forgot Pete's name. CT, man, it's killer. Well, there you go. First call of the night. Hello, caller. State your name and where you're from.
My name is Malik Obee, and I am from Maryland. And how you doing tonight, fellas?
Doing good. Pete's not here. He has some business. But, man, we got to give you a better introduction than that. First off, this man has a hate. I'm just starting with the. I don't think people understand. Man, this man Obee does so much great work. Great journalist out of the DMV.
Thank you.
One of the. I'm giving you another hand. I gotta give a hand clap for the DMV. All the people I know. Plus, if I don't, like, the females I know from the DMV will kill me, and I'm not ready to go yet. But most importantly, man.
Thank you, man.
Your hatred of Reggie Nelson and that Mario Winans I Don't Want to Know video, like, and their knowledge of HBCUs, we're going to get into all that, but, like, I just want people to know those three things. Like, if I had a trident of, like, I don't know, just something that's really dignified and really honorable and, like, the highest honor that was made out of gold, Obee would be holding it. Because three of my favorite things. HBCU culture, even though I actually never went to one, but I'm fascinated with it. And all the players, because, you know, I really have a feeling. Me personally, I feel like if all the top recruits, all the black players went to all the HBCUs, we'd see a continental shift. But we'll get into that. And mostly, yeah, I really hated that video when it came out, that song. I Don't Want to Know. That's the simplest thing I've ever heard in my life. I don't want to know if you play me. I think if you don't want to know, you probably know you're being played.
Exactly.
Is it just me? Like, I feel like Drake covered this already. Like, he had a couple albums where we covered this, but for some reason Mario Wayans thought in between. I feel like there was an era where it was like a 5-minute pit stop, and Mario Wayans just snuck that in. Kind of the way Tory Lanez keeps sneaking in disses at rappers. But anyway, You got a book.
I want to say first and foremost, I want to say thank you for having me, and I appreciate that wonderful introduction. And we are going to go into all these things. But I'm gonna let you finish what you were saying. But we're going to go on all of these topics tonight. I wanted to thank you, Peace Man. I wanted to thank him as well. I'm very grateful to be on the show tonight.
Appreciate it. We wanted this to happen before, but it's timing. Everything works out. Full press coverage, brethren. Your Twitter bio
Yes,
says
sir.
published author has a book called
Yes,
Bounce
sir.
Beat Baby.
Yes, sir.
Give a little just in-depth, analysis of what that is. Why everybody
Okay,
should get it.
so Washington D.C., the Washington D.C. area, I should say. The definitive music of our area is go-go music, and people think that that's like just as any other genre, there are subgenres. So go-go is the overall music of the area. The bounce beat sound is similar to rap when rap went from the hit to kind of like get into more lyricism until you had the off branch of gangster rap from the West Coast, etc. This subgenre. So the bounce beat is the main subgenre of go-go. It is the sound of go-go for everyone, I'd say 30 and under. It really came about between 2000 and 2003. And, those were the years, I actually moved to Maryland from New York in 1999. So I kind of I literally came up in that era. Once I actually figured out that I actually liked go-go, and, that time, the last 20 years, basically was the growth of this sound, so I was there, I was going to school through that time, and it's hard to really explain in a short manner like this.
It's
But
a soundtrack to your
go-go, like I
life.
said, it is the sound of the area. And there was a time, where life kind of revolved around go-go, everything go-go related. Go-go is fashion, go-go is slang, everything is for our area. So I said, I want to write a book about my specific era of go-go, my sights, my smells, my everything, all type of experiences. And the major inspiration for it was West Coast related. It's one of my favorite, probably my second favorite book ever, is Monster by Sayika Shakur, aka Monster Cody, a very notorious Crip, a notorious gangbanger. He wrote a book while he was in prison about his time and upbringing and, basically during the second generation of the Crips. And, he's very detailed, and the way that he was passionate about the Crips is how I was passionate about go-go and about having some of those similar experiences with the violence, with everything that went on. I said, I'm gonna write a book about this. And the book is really doing really well. It's available on Amazon. It's available on iTunes, Barnes and Noble, everywhere. It's doing very good. It's doing a lot better than I expected. I'll say that, especially considering the numbers that I'm getting outside of our immediate area. People are like, well, I don't really know what that is, but I'm gonna try it. And or they might, they might know a few go-go songs through movies or whatever the case may be, and say, well, let me see what this perspective is like. So it's been a great experience.
That's what's up. I got a couple more questions, and then we'll get to the sports stuff. But this is culture, and that's part of what this podcast has always been about is, culture and people in the culture actually having a say-so of what goes on, and your story is an amazing one. First question for Pete. I don't know. You might laugh when you hear this. Is Wale in the book?
Yes. And let me tell you something.
Is Falorin in it?
You can't. Yes, you cannot tell the story of the last 20 years ago without talking about Wale, because Wale, to the mainstream world, this is a funny thing. Mainstream, the country, the world, accepts Wale as accepts and respects Wale as a rapper. There are a lot of people who don't respect Wale as a person. They think he's a crybaby, whatever the case may be. It's funny to see people on a national level have an issue with Wale over whatever it is. But Wale, his start in rap paralleled so well with the go-go world. It's like he really essentially got his start in go-go, but he got his start, what he did in go-go opened people's eyes to him as a rapper. This area is the transformation. That's what I talked about in the book. The transformation of this area is really ridiculous. Like, if you think about this, Barry. Let's say from 2010 back, you personally, how many rappers have you ever listened to from the Washington D.C. area? Rappers.
I'll probably say like 5, but it wasn't like they had a wave around that time. But my thing is, because I lived in Oakland and came out here in 99, like August 99.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really get into hip hop truly until around 2000, like 2001. So Wale was one of my favorites just because I was like, this dude just sounds like he's enigmatic when he raps. Like, I was just drawn to like, okay, I don't know what that sound is, what that style is. I thought it was just created in the studio. I didn't know, like, oh wait, this is heavily influenced.
Yeah. Now the thing about that is that the DC area is not, before Shy Glizzy, before Fat Troll, etc. There was such a small contingency of people that actually wanted to rap. Now let me say this: people in DC and Maryland and Virginia before 2010. 93% of people's time listening to music was listening to go-go, and that's a fact. You can ask anybody. That other 7%, it was listening to go-go from the other 6% was listening to rap from somewhere else. Scarface is like the god of DC in terms of rappers that's not actually from DC. Scarface can go anywhere in DC and do whatever he wants.
And Ghetto Boys playing tricks on me.
Ghetto Boys, Scarface, Lil Wayne, Juvenile, anybody West or Midwest, anybody anywhere below Philly is loved in DC in terms of rap. Prior to 2010, 2008, but Wale, he was doing his rap thing, and he kind of grew up in the go-go world, and he was able to use his rap skills to get on with some go-go bands. His hit single "Pretty Girls."
Oh, I was gonna ask you about that. Like, every time I hear
it's actually derived from 2 songs. It's actually derived from Backyard. Now, this is to tie this all together. He has in the chorus of the song is Wincy, who's probably the most known, most famous go-go singer from the band Backyard Band. Now, the lead mic or the face of Backyard Band is Big G. Big G is Big G is Slim Charles from The Wire. So if you ever watch The Wire, Slim Charles is, he's actually the person at the end of the show that takes over the co-op. He's the king of Baltimore at the end of the show. But he's from DC. And that's a whole nother story. We get into the DC-Baltimore relationship. But to come back to Wale got his start in go-go. And the mixtapes that he put out, his very early mixtapes, were so great that people said, we're going to get behind him. And the go-go world got behind him. And then everybody else that was like, backpackers, everybody is just like, okay, Wale, this is our guy. This is the one that's going to get us out. He's going to get us out there as a rapper. Tabby Bonet, there were other people, but Wale was the guy. You know what I'm saying? And he got out. He did his thing. A couple of years later, Shy Glizzy, Fat Troll, et cetera, came about. And the thing is that when Shy Glizzy and Fat Troll came out, these are 2 people that grew up in the go-go as well. When they came out, the area itself had changed so much, just as Oakland and LA, et cetera, all these places are going through gentrification. DC has seen a complete facelift. Everybody knows that DC was once considered a chocolate city.
Exactly.
And now it's like gluten-free, macadamia nut,
nut allergies everywhere.
Yeah, it's a completely different city. People are, the city, the culture of the city is like clinging on for dear life. So, yes, Wale is in the book. And